Oh, it's so rainy and cold outside. I just want to snuggle up with a blanket and eat soup all day. It's so chilly out. I just love soup season. Oh my gosh, I need my pumpkin spice latte. Cause we're winging it in the kitchen with Kate. Hey everybody, it's Kate. Well, it's finally here. The rainy season, cozy sweater and fuzzy boot season, and most importantly, soup season. So to kick it off, I'm going to teach you how to make a batch of butternut squash soup. For this recipe, we'll need 1 butternut squash, 1 onion, a green apple, preferably Granny Smith, some garlic, vegetable broth, salt, pepper, nutmeg, and sage. All right, let's get started. So we'll start by cutting the top off and cutting the bottom off so that we can safely set it upright and chop it in half long ways. We will scrape out the seeds from the center of the squash. Ugh. Messy job. Now we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper on these guys before they go in the oven. Use my handy dandy Pampered Chef oil sprayer that's refillable and good for the environment. Ooh, I'm going to stab it with a fork. That's going to help it bake a little bit better. Just a couple of stabs in there. And now we salt and pepper it. And I'm going to bake these guys face down with the meat down for about a half hour to 40 minutes. It doesn't have to be all the way soft because I'm going to scoop this out into another sauteed mixture to finish cooking it. So place these on our parchment covered baking sheet. Parchment would be optional, I'd say. And throw them in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes on 425. Now our squash is in the oven, it's time to continue prepping the rest of the ingredients for the soup. We'll start by chopping up an onion. And we really just need a rough chop on these onions because we're just going to saute them and they're going to end up in the blender, so they don't have to be cut any special way. That's probably good. All right, now on to our apple. And again, for the apple, we just need a rough chop so we can saute it and throw it in the blender. So I'll just chop these a little further. That looks good. Oh, also, I had this shallot in my refrigerator from a recipe earlier in the week, and I think shallot would be delicious in this, so I'm going to add it. It'll be fun. I'll let you know how it goes. It's not necessary, but I just want to use it up. So here we go. All right, some garlic. We're going to do 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. And I just picked some sage from the garden. We're going to add fresh sage to this recipe. Give it a quick rough chop as well. And saute it along with the apple and onion and garlic and shallot. First we'll saute the onion for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then we'll saute the apple, sage, and garlic with the onion for another 3 to 4 minutes. Our squash is out of the oven. It looks so brown and toasty and wonderful. We need to remove the skin so that we can put the meat in with our other sauteed thing. Some of the skin just peels off. Some we might have to take off with a spoon. We have the skin off the squash. Let's go ahead and add this to our sauteed onion, apple, sage mixture. And we'll saute for another 5 to 10 minutes. And now we'll add our freshly ground nutmeg. You could also use dried nutmeg. We have our sauteed mixture off of the stove. Now it's time to puree. All of the flavors came together when we threw the squash in at the end so that the sage and the garlic and everything could come together And now the last step. Let's get it in the blender. And we'll add a little vegetable broth. And that's going to help with our end consistency to make this into soup. Here we go. So you can see here what we've made is a very thick mixture in our blender. So now comes the choice, do you want it to be thinner than that or do you like it like this? And remember, we're going to do a couple more batches, so some might be a little more runny than others. So I'm going to leave this as is, dispense it into a bowl, and if we'd like to make this more soupy in the end, we can add more broth to the last batch that we blend. Get another round in the blender. All of these great ingredients. The sage looks so good. I really recommend sage and nutmeg in your squash soup, but of course you can flavor this any way you want. Don't be shy and please experiment and tell me how it goes. See, this round is way more soupy. The blender here. Don't want to waste any of that goodness. And easy as that. We got dinner, folks. And I thought I would just tell you quickly about the versatility of butternut squash soup. You could eat it plain with some kind of fun garnish, which is what we're going to do. You could put it over pasta, raviolis. The possibilities are kind of endless. A nice chunk of bread in the middle or some bread to dip in it is great. So get creative with the way you're going to eat your butternut squash soup. Well, we made a beautiful butternut squash soup. My kitchen smells amazing. I think you're going to love this recipe. I've roasted some chickpeas with some smoked paprika and garlic and salt. And I'll just sprinkle those on the top. And we'll add a little smoked paprika garnish here just for aesthetics. All right. So you can see that making butternut squash soup is easy, fun, and you can get creative with it. You can use shallots, onions, green apples, Honeycrisp apples, whatever you want. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you learned some things. I had a lot of fun making this soup with you. And we'll see you next time on Winging It in the Kitchen with Kate! You could eat it plain with some kind of fun garnish. You could eat it. Oh, it's so cold. I just want to snuggle and eat soup. Woo! Did you have some fun today? Did you enjoy learning how to make butternut squash soup with me? Well, if you did, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Winging It in the Kitchen with Kate. We have lots of fun recipes to share, and I think you'll love it.